I'm Jeff Barnhart, founder and CEO of CMA, where I grew up in Mercer County on the Delaware River near Washington's Crossing Park, attended high school at Hopeful Valley Regional and college at Rider University, and 33 years ago started my company in Mercer County. Through the years, I have been involved with many local businesses and organizations. So during these times of uncertainty, it's important to recognize the initiatives and support of our local economy. As such, CMA Cares is honoring those businesses and organizations that have shifted gears to help others in the community. We're sharing an in-depth look with our community members as we share stories to help spark hope and light.
Okay, welcome everybody. Today we are joined by Sarah Switlik, who is the Vice President of Sales and Marketing with Switlik. Welcome. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
All right, so before we get into a little bit about what you guys have done to adapt and shift during this COVID-19 climate, can you give us a little bit of backstory of who Switlik is?
Yeah, so I'm the fourth generation of the Switlik family. We're a family-owned business celebrating our centennial this year, founded in 1920. We're a manufacturer in Trenton, New Jersey. We've predominantly made safety and survival equipment in different forms over our 100-year history, but we started out in canvas and leather goods, and then transitioned into parachutes for the world wars and opportunities there. But then as warfare and the climate changed, we grew our aviation business, and then slowly over the years we've added to the portfolio. So right now we make safety and survival equipment mostly for emergencies that occur in or over water. So think inflatables, everything from life vests that go under your seat on an airplane, all the way up to highly technical equipment for all branches of the government, including anti-G suits for fighter jet pilots, and anti-exposure suits for the Coast Guard, anything that you might need if you have an emergency and you find yourself in water. And we've dabbled in other areas because we are a manufacturer at heart. So the machines don't care what they're making as long as they're making things, is something my dad always says. But the core of our business right now, our DBA is sort of like survival products. That's our heart and soul.
Awesome, and congratulations on 100 years. That's amazing.
Thanks. We're very proud of it. Where some of our celebrations have changed what they're going to look like for this year, but we don't want that to take away from the accomplishment at all.
Absolutely. And why don't we dive into that a little bit further? How has the COVID-19 climate impacted Switlik, and what have you guys done to adapt?
Yeah, so there's kind of two sides to it. On the one hand, because of our position and what we do make as a government contractor, making safety equipment for government personnel, they don't have a choice but to show up to work through all of this. So we don't have a choice but to keep making what we're making for them and fulfilling our contracts. So we have remained open throughout the virus. We've got a lot of protocols in place, but so on the one hand, our day-to-day operations have altered, but we never had to close. On the other hand, the virus has definitely impacted us. We have a lot of commercial aviation business. We've got a lot of oil and gas business. Those are not faring nearly as well. So what we've decided to do is combination of having some excess capacity and being open. We transitioned really quickly into making PPE. We made face shields predominantly. We've made a few isolation gowns for some hospitals. We've been working with the local markets to see what we can do, because we do have people in the building that we want to keep busy and employed, and make things. So it's been bittersweet for us. We haven't had to shut our doors at all, but we've definitely had to adapt what we're doing and how we're doing it.
And what has that outcome, or what has the response been like with the shift to creating the face shields and the gowns?
It's been good. It's a new learning experience for a lot of us. It's a lot more consumer focused than some of our other business was. So that's been interesting. It's been a good work boost, make work, and also morale boost for people here, especially people who might have had concerns or been questioning, or just having emotions like we're all having about being open and being here and what does that mean and look like. So it gave a lot of purpose to our employees for, we're making things that are making a distinct difference where, that side of things. But it's also been really stressful. It's been chaotic, adding a new product. Our whole product development cycle was on warp speed. You're making something really quick that we've never made before, and we're selling to a customer base that we've never sold to before. So, you learn a lot, but it's definitely been a little bit of a fire drill as well.
I can only imagine. I know, from a CMA standpoint, we know just how much people have to promote and launch those new products, and to do it in such a quick turnaround time because you want to ensure that that resource is there for our local community. That's a major change that I'm sure you guys have adapted to extremely well.
And there's also a component of it where there's a fine line between being really helpful but not feeling like you're being opportunistic, by any means. Is we want to get this stuff into the market, and we've been doing a combination of donation and sales. But based on the volume that we've been able to put out into the market, we do have to sell some of them. We're not selling them for profit. We're covering materials and labor. But there is definitely that element of making sure you don't feel like you're taking advantage of the situation at all, which I don't believe that we're doing, but it's definitely a whole other emotional layer into the sales component that we haven't experienced.
Absolutely. It's definitely a fine line right now, especially, but people are online and they're paying attention. How can people help, share your message, spread the news, share your product? Are you guys on social media? Are you out in the
community? Within reason, there's a lot of compliance things. It's hard to promote. Google and social, they have blocked a lot, because they don't want people to be taking advantage. But we are promoting on our social page. We've got them for sale on our online store. We've got a lot of word of mouth going through, and our biggest thing is we have a lot of inventory right now because we were able to respond basically starting from the beginning. We have inventory, we have available stuff that we can ship out. So that's kind of the word I want to be able to spread, is that we're able to respond quickly, and our shields, they're designed to be reused and reworn so people can get more mileage out of them than disposable PPE.
And I know there's you have it on your website where people can go to purchase the mask. Do you want to share what that link is?
Yes, so switlik.com, so SWITLIK.com. That if you start there, you can figure out how to dive down further from there. We've got some pop-ups and some quick access links for people, or Switlik Survival on either Facebook or Instagram. You can get our information as well.
Awesome. And that's such a great story, and how you guys have really had to adapt and shift so rapidly, but you're also being that resource and that help for the local community. So as we kind of look into the weeks ahead and the time frame in terms of when we're going to start to shift back to normal, what can we expect from Switlik for the coming months and the remainder of 2020?
Yeah, a lot of it is a little bit wait and see. Like I said, some of our industries have been heavily impacted by this, particularly the airlines. So as they still figure out what their recovery timeline looks like, we're going to be downstream of them in that space. But you can expect us to, remain vigilant on that front. We're looking at how to, while the face shields maybe were initially a temporary product, we're looking to see how we can target certain industries to incorporate them. I think even as places reopen, there's still going to be some, whether it's schools, whether it is with our airline customers, that our shields are much more comfortable to be worn for long periods of time. I think even when things open, people are still going to have to be conscious of face coverings. So do we have more opportunities on that front? And then I think we're also going to focus a lot on government work and government opportunities, things that we're already set up to do, specializations that we have, and we'll continue to go after them, as well as we figure out what the new normal or what the baseline looks like. But I think we're going to be a part of, unfortunately, these kind of next 12 months. It's going to get worse before it gets better for a lot of people.
That's very true. I think the way in which we've all had to adapt and shift currently will definitely have some long-term impact, positively as well for businesses.
I mean, we didn't get to be 100, you know, without being on this roller coaster. There's always been highs and lows. We've, you know, stayed in business through depressions and recessions and the like before. So we hope that our ability to be flexible, our ability to make things and decide what those things may be and pivot. You know, there's hundreds of products that we have made over our time that we don't make anymore. There's a lot of products that we are just getting into that we've never made before. So I'm hopeful that we can power through and, you know, get through to the other side. I'm confident that we will. But like any business, it's going to look different, you know, next year than it did in January this year.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for joining us today, Sarah, and sharing the story of Switlik and how you guys have adapted. And we'll talk to you all soon. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.